Yeah.
I wish it was just, you know, that the people are down on their luck. I wish it was just that.
Yeah.
But there's like such a combination of factors that humans have to address. If they really want to address homelessness, you really have to address kids that grow up in the foster care system. You have to address childhood abuse. You have to address family history of drug addiction. You have to address crime. Like, there's so many factors that lead into someone being homeless. And the idea that you're just going to give them housing or you're just going to give them tents and everything's going to be fine. It's like, no, like, you can't just like ignore that as an issue. Like, if you're going to, the amount of money that it costs to have massive populations of homeless people is extraordinary. If they just put the same amount or maybe more to prepare for the future into some sort of like comprehensive program to try to help people that are fucked up like that and clean them up. And it would probably have to involve psychedelic drugs.
Yeah, that's what I think that you probably, because it's not a money thing, right? People, they have money to, it's not a cure, it's not a financial cure, it's these people
that
their
are
mindset.
Just so damaged by life.
Yes.
In whether it's chemically damaged, psychologically damaged, maybe they don't have the right psych medications, maybe they're off their meds. You know, a lot of them have gone through horrific abuse. Like, you don't wind up in a tent in Skid Row unless shit has gone. It's literally the bottom of the country. Skid Row's like the bottom of the country.
Right. But then I wonder if you get to talk to some people and they're like, this is where we want to be. You think some people are willingly that?
Because they don't know anything else. Right? They don't know love. They don't know like the accomplishment of like doing a thing and getting better at it and like improving upon and realizing that's kind of a vehicle for improving yourself. Like they haven't experienced like positive things. Like the life is like, this is why it drives me fucking crazy when everybody says like, whenever anyone says like, pull them up by their own bootstraps, like to tell people to go, you know, figure it out yourself. You know, I did, or like these people, you're not dealing with the even starting line. If everybody had an even starting line, that would make sense. If everybody had a mom and a dad and they grew up in a house where no one smoked crack and fucking shot at each other. If you grew up in a place like that, okay. If we all grew up like, and we all like had a good school to go to with good education and nice teachers that cared, but that's not everybody's experience. And until we fucking fix that, you're never going to fix this homeless problem.
Like I, you know, was lucky to grow up. I grew up in New York City, great parents, whatever. But then I just had a show in Fresno a couple of days ago, and I said, if I grew up here, I'd be a little different.
You'd be a lot different.
Because Fresno is one of those places where I went a great time. But I mean, those just being there, just being in that city for 24 hours, I was like, I don't know if this was my every single day. You might turn to drugs. It's
depressing.
It's depressing. I drove from Fresno to San Jose, and we were passing through Stockton, and I thought I was in Switzerland because that's what an upgrade it was from Fresno. I was like, what are we, in the fucking Alps?
Bro, I was driving through a street in Fresno, and people were walking out in the middle of the street like, what the fuck are you doing driving here?
Yeah.
Like I went down a wrong area where it's like mostly homeless people.
Yeah. Oh, no. That the Fresno Skid Row that I saw was the one, I think the worst I've ever seen. I'm sorry, no, was it? Yeah, it was San Jose, I should say. San Jose was really, really, really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Over there, I was like, Jesus Christ. You know, and Vancouver. I just went to Vancouver. That was the one where I was like, I did not know that Vancouver had such a. See, I think what Vancouver and these cities are doing is they're just putting their homeless in one section. Because, you know, I live in New York. I'm in New York every day. There are homeless, and they're spread out through the city, but you never see blocks of tents like you see in San Francisco and Vancouver. So when I was there, I was like, this doesn't feel like the right move either, you know, to just put them in one corner, because New York, they're spread out, but you don't feel them as much. It's dangerous, but not really. Where San Francisco, Vancouver, they were like, you know, one of the local comics I was with in San Fran, he was like, you cannot leave anything in your car around this theater. You cannot. They will break in. And I saw about 4 or 5 windows busted out, which you never see that in New York. And I think the police in Vancouver and San Fran, from what the people were telling me, that's a district they don't care. They don't even go into that district. They just let it be a free-for-all, which I understand from the government. It's like, well, this is our last resort. But I don't know that that's going to necessarily work. But maybe you got to give them psychedelics.
Well, what they're doing right now is not working. You can't just let people smash people's windows. It's so crazy